going backwards and feeling like we are going backwards, but yet we're thriving. So how is that possible? We can be all of it. So I want to encourage you all, whatever you've been through, embrace the physical aspect of the pain and what it's unconsciously driving you to do. If it's to not take care of yourself, it's okay. Maybe today start differently. Maybe today start to get out in nature more, maybe meditate more, maybe put down the coffee. Start to truly love yourselves. But sometimes we have to go into the darkness to learn how to do that. And I'm so hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk about things life, love, spirituality, love, attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. In this video, I want to talk about something that has been on my mind since my daughter passed away. For those of you that are new here, sorry if that is abrupt way of saying that, but I've been speaking about it for almost 13 years now. She would be 13 on July 13th, this coming July. So I'm so pumped to celebrate her. But my journey has been something that I've lived and talked about, and it's so beautiful to hear so many people say her name, Micah. I swear people have said her name more than maybe they've said some other people's names who've lived to 90 years old. And I am so proud of myself for being able to open myself up to share her. And I kind of was not in control of how that happened, how it unfolded. I just followed the inner nudge in my body of when I was guided to talk about her or when I was guided to teach about her to my students and now here on YouTube. But she brought me my spiritual gift. She brought me on the path, essentially. I was not on the path, and now I'm on the path. And I've been on the path for almost 13 years now. That awakening happened in 2012 when she was born, and she passed away from a muscle disorder 2 months later, like 6 weeks later. And when she passed, they did not know what she had. So I went 6 months without understanding what just happened. My daughter was born not moving her arms and her legs. It wasn't muscular dystrophy. They ruled out all of these other type of typical conditions. And we were just left with the unknown. So I was abruptly put into the unknown, and it was so scary and it was so hard. And I felt like a tornado that just came into my life and flipped me upside down. And what I wanted to share in this video was sometimes in life, like that situation taught me a whole book filled with like 50 chapters of lessons, right? So some things that have been on my mind and that have been brewing ever since that time was the fact that we can't control our lives. And the more we can let the tornado come in and move us to something better, right? To move us into a higher version of ourselves, to let whatever we are in fall away, the more we can dance with life and the more we can actually feel good. Most people would think that that kind of situation would crush a parent. And I always did too, until I was put through it. And then I was like, oh, we're designed to handle it. Like I was designed to be able to handle that. Every step of my journey prepared me for that day that I held her and watched her take her last breath. And it was traumatic at the time. But looking back, I was like Superwoman. I was Wonder Woman. I was like, I can do this. And then fast forward to 2021, I did the same thing with my dad. I was the only one alone with him in the room when he was taking his last breath. And I'm like, how am I designed for this? Like, it felt like I could do it. And grieving leading up to it was hard, and grieving afterwards was hard. I was not right after my dad died. I just didn't take care of my body. I got into a deep depression. I was building my business at the time. I was building YouTube. So I had all these sparks of creativity after my dad passed to be able to process the grief. But then I just wasn't doing like the 3D things that I needed to be doing. I was kind of punishing myself for certain traumas that I was unaware of. I was not feeling worthy. But the main theme of why I wanted to share all of this is because we have to grab the lessons. We have to grab, like, why did this happen to us, right? Why did my soul, my unique soul, chose to have these experiences in this lifetime? Right. And I'm not going to stay in the woe is me. I'm not going to stay in the victim. I'm sharing my daughter in all of my videos because I'm so grateful that she brought me into this reality that I'm in right now. And the reality is in here. She brought me to a new level of awareness, a new level of compassion, a new level of forgiveness. I owe my whole life to her. I think if she didn't leave, then I probably would have abused her the same way I was abused growing up. Just diminishing children, hurting them physically. If they're not perfect, then they get hurt. Things had to be so, on the from the outside looking in, everything had to look a certain way in my family. And that conditioning is awful. And if my daughter didn't leave, I'd still be doing that. So maybe we had this agreement that I would stop the cycle, and I would have to face that pain of losing her and dealing with that like internal pain for so long. And that's one thing that I don't want to negate here. If you've lost anybody, not just a child, if you've lost anybody, grief is the hardest thing to navigate. And it could be a breakup too, because sometimes breakups are just as hard because the person is still here and you maybe have to see them. And they're just different types of heartbreak, but it's all pain. But we don't have to stay in the suffering of it. We don't have to continue to tell the story that, oh, this happened to me and I'm never going to get here because of that. And no, we unhook the past and we move forward with the lessons. And that's what I wanted to share, is that what lessons have you learned from your unique experiences? And I hope that my life story inspires you to look deeper. Look at who you are. Fall in love with yourself. Look at all that you've accomplished. Even if you feel like you're not quite at the top of the mountain yet, like meaning in charge of your emotions and taking care of your vessel, we yo-yo, we go back and forth because my daughter passed away and I flipped into the opposite. I flipped into celery juice every single morning, working out at 3:30 in the morning. I was like balls to the wall, like the healthiest human on the planet. And then when my dad passed, it was the opposite. I crumbled. I was eating like a bagel and cream cheese every morning, a gluten-free bagel and dairy-free cream cheese every morning. And then I would have an energy drink midway through the day before filming. And then I would have like a crappy fast food dinner. Like I did that for like 2 years. My body was not at all in an alkaline state. I went from having greens every day, celery juice every day, and I completely flipped. So sometimes we have to go into a season of not taking care of ourselves to relearn how to take care of ourselves. We have to have health conditions that pop up to scare us, to say, what are you doing? Right. And I needed that too. I had my car accident recently in December, and I just needed to be shaken. I need to be like, Michelle, what are you doing? You're not sleeping well. You're not taking care of yourself. You're still drinking coffee. These lessons that we learn, they do come with, a lot of breakdown and a lot of chaos and a lot of, going backwards and feeling like we are going backwards, but yet we're thriving. So how is that possible? We can be all of it. So I want to encourage you all, whatever you've been through, embrace the physical aspect of the pain and what it's unconsciously driving you to do. If it's to not take care of yourself, it's okay. Maybe today start differently. Maybe today start to get out in nature more, maybe meditate more, maybe put down the coffee. Start to truly love yourselves. But sometimes we have to go into the darkness to learn how to do that. And I'm so grateful for my daughter and my experiences and my dad for teaching me how to love myself. I was learning what love really is. Like, what is this thing I feel in my body when I think about my daughter? I don't know I don't know her personality. I don't know what she would look like. She was only 6 weeks old, but there's this feeling that I just know I love her. And you can't see it, you can't touch it. It's just there. And I know that that was there all along in me. And I could cry just even saying this. It's in you. You have the love inside of you. And it takes sometimes a loss or an illness or something to wake us up to what is really inside of us. And the emotion that's coming through me right now is that source energy. It's so beautiful. And it's what we're here to experience. And we don't need other people. We need other people to kind of be our catalyst in a way, but they're here to remind us of who we are. And that love that is pouring through me right now, and the love that like got me to make this video, that is source. That's God working through me, working through you to hear this right now. So take the lessons and make them, just put them in the forefront of your mind of all the bad things that have happened. Take the good, put them in the forefront, and then see it with such gratitude, see it with such frick yeah, like I'm so happy I went through that, because look at the person that I became. Look how deeply I love now. I appreciate things more. I take care of my home. I take care of myself. I nurture relationships. You know, one of my greatest accomplishments is healing the relationship with my mom and the connections that I've built with all of my nieces and my nephews. You know, they're the type of kids, no matter what age they are, they could be 6 or they could be 21, and they call me and they want to hang out and they want to pick my brain and they want to go places with me and they want to do nothing with me. They want to meditate with me. You know, they seek me out because I have cultivated such a relationship with them that they they want to spend more time with me. And a lot of people don't know how to do that with kids. They don't know how to tap into, you know, their heart space and make them feel seen. I always made all of my nieces and my nephews, I would listen, I would make them feel seen, heard, and loved all the time. And that's what keeps them coming back for more. And sometimes it's hard for me to balance all of them because there's so many of them, and I want to make sure I'm fair, and I don't want to play favorites, and I don't want to, you know, I want to do everything that was done to me. I want to do it differently. And I'm not perfect and I've messed up along the way, but the one thing that I've committed to is that work does not come before them. And that's what I experienced. My dad always chose work over me. So that is another lesson that I'm taking with me in my big chapter book is that I now will not choose work over children. And if they need just to FaceTime me for 5 minutes because they just went through a breakup with their boyfriend, then I'm going to literally get off of my client call as soon as I can to go do that for them. Right. And obviously, kids have to know too that like parents have to work and parents have to do things. But if we can make time, we should make time. Right. And those are these small lessons that I learned along the way. I'm telling you, like, there's so many things that I learned through my loss and through my dad and through my upbringing that, you know, it has shaped me into the person that I am. And I want all of you to love yourselves so much and to look at every single hiccup, every single breakdown, every single illness, every breakup. I want you to look at it with like this beautiful love in your heart and see the good from it. And don't take the past with you. Unhook the past, leave the negativity behind, but take the lessons with you. Okay, so this is a huge part of manifesting too. If you're on my channel because you found me because you like my content, you like my signs videos, or you like my intuitive readings, if you want to co-create a new life for yourself, you have to be able to let go. You have to be able to feel that love that I was talking about, that source energy. You have to learn how to connect. You have to make a joy list. You have to take care of your vessel. You got to get out in nature. You have to know what your physical body needs in order to thrive. And it's not easy. Like I said, I went through depression. I went through anxiety. I was deep in my grief, but I learned how to get out. And I learned not to let the ego keep me in the suffering or the woe is me or the victimhood. I pulled up my bootstraps and I was like, I'm doing it. I am getting out of this and I'm going to live the most magical life now. And I'm going to manifest anything that I want and also surrender to maybe what God has for me that I can't quite see. I'm going to be open to it. So I want to invite you all to take your lessons with you, take everything that you've learned from your past experiences, be better, do better, and love yourself for how far you've come. I love you and I'm so proud of you. And I want you to walk through life holding up your head high, shoulders back, and just feeling like you're worthy of being here, because you are. You are a divine being, and I love you so much. All right, I'm going to end it here. Thank you for going along this journey with me. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you for supporting me, my daughter, and our channel. All right, peace out.